Hello friends, welcome to our channel Knowledge Amplifier, and in my previous video I have already given you a brief introduction about big data, what are the application areas of big data, and as well as I have discussed major characteristics of a big data problem, that is volume, variety, velocity, veracity, valence, and most important heart of big data is value. Okay, to get some insight after analysis of huge volume of data which can be used for business intelligence or business improvement. Okay, now this huge amount of data should be handled properly, fast processing required, and this huge amount of data should be stored properly. Okay, because storage is having very high cost, so we need to take care of processing as well as the storage, how we can do that efficiently. And for that, whatever framework we use or whatever open source platform we use, that is most popular one is Hadoop. Okay, what is Hadoop and some history of Hadoop, some useful components or properties of Hadoop I am going to discuss in this video. Okay, Hadoop is an open source software platform for distributed storage and distributed processing of very large data set on computer cluster built from commodity hardware. Okay, this is definition of Hadoop. Okay, I am reading again. An open source software platform for distributed storage and for distributed processing of very large data set on computer cluster built from commodity hardware. First thing first, open source, that means free software. Okay, obviously that is good for us, that means we can use that. Okay, then we no need to give money instead of using that software, right? Freely available, easily downloadable. Okay, open source. Then software platform for distributed storage. Okay, so what is this? Before going to that, let me just have make you a clear idea that generally we do programming or processing on a single computer, right? The computer in which you are might be watching this particular YouTube video, or in mobile. If you are watching in mobile, then different case. But if you are watching in computer, then suppose you are writing one Python program, you will run in your computer's Jupyter notebook only most of the time, right? Then similarly, if you are writing some MATLAB simulation, okay, if you run that, it will work with your own computer only. But Hadoop works on cluster of computers, that is many computers. Okay, not a single one. Okay, that is the most important part. Hadoop works on cluster of computers instead of single computer. Okay, and this gives birth to two very important concepts, key point: distributed storage and distributed processing. Okay, so what is that? Distributed storage means, see, already I have told you, in big data one of the major characteristics is volume, very big size of the data which we handle in big data domain, right? So that huge amount of data cannot be stored in a single hard drive. Okay, now you can imagine that suppose you are storing forcefully all that huge size of data in a single hard drive. What may happen? First thing, obviously you require a very costly storage, more CPU cores, okay, more RAM, more memory. Okay, so obviously cost will increase, that it might not be economical for everyone. Okay, and along with that, if you have studied computer architecture and organization, you might know that there is search time. There is a particular search time for any search operation in hard drive or in memory, right? So if you have a very big volume of data which is stored in a single hard drive, then the searching time will also increase. That means whatever processing you want to perform on data stored in memory, for that very high processing time, you will have to invest. Okay, so these are some disadvantage to store the huge volume of data in a single hard drive. Instead of that, what we do, as I have told you, Hadoop works on cluster of computer. So we take that huge chunk of data, we divide into small pieces, and we put them into different hard drives of the in the cluster of computers available for me. Okay, so the data is distributed in all of the hard drive present in cluster of computers, not in a single hard drive. Okay, and these distributed data Hadoop then treat as single file system. Okay, try to understand the usefulness of this particular concept. Okay, if you have distributed storage, what will happen then? Obviously the using small hardware, or using less memory itself, you can handle this much bigger size of data, because 2 GB 2 GB 2 GB like that. If you take 100 computer, then 200 GB, then that is obviously quite a big size, right? And if you still the data is not fitting in that cluster, you add one more computer in that cluster. If you previously were using 10 computers, now you use 11 12 like that, no problem. Okay, so this is the concept of distributed storage. Now you have stored your data in a distributed manner throughout your cluster. Not only storage, but Hadoop supports distributed processing also. Very important. Okay, here it is written that, okay, not only distributed storage, also processing. Okay, processing means like if you have studied any structured query language, that is database management system, you might know that the data stored in database, we need to perform different operations, sometime aggregation, sometimes some transformation, sometime maybe any operation related to a structured query language, whatever you have studied, that may be some condition, based on some condition you want to check. Okay, all these comes under processing. Okay, and Hadoop supports distributed processing. Okay, that means what? You require to perform some operation on the data stored in a distributed fashion in your cluster of computer. It will work in a parallel manner. It is not like that it will first go to one computer, process the whole data present in that memory of that particular computer, then go to next computer. No, not like that. It works in a parallel manner. Okay, and parallel manner, that means kind of pipelining, that will lead to quick computation. Okay, and if you have studied data structure algorithm, then this particular part you can find similarity with divide and conquer. Okay, that is nothing but divide one problem into very small sub problems and solve those, finally accumulate those and give the result. Same kind of principle is followed in Hadoop also. Okay, Hadoop follows MapReduce. There is one algorithm which it implement for implementing divide and conquer algorithm in a large scale. Okay, a massive scale. Now this distributed processing and distributed storage togetherly comes under distributed file system. Okay, these are some properties of distributed file system. So like I can give you one example of distributed processing. If you just check here, 1 terabyte equal to 1024 gigabyte. Now suppose your whole data is stored in a single hard drive. Okay, in a single memory of a single computer. Okay, then suppose that particular machine require 1 hour to read the whole 1 terabyte data, that is nearly 1000 gigabyte of data. Instead of that, if you take 10 machine and divide your this 1000 GB data into 100 GB in each, now what will happen? And you apply parallel processing, then one machine can read 1 terabyte of data, that is 1000 GB in 1 hour. That means 100 GB, it will obviously take very less time. Okay, and that using that 100 GB, all the 100 GBs will be processed simultaneously. So as a result, you can understand the computation time. Maybe within 10 minutes, your whole data processing can be done. Okay, I am just telling for example purpose. I hope you have got the feeling. Okay, so this is the beauty of distributed processing and distributed storage. All right, and coming to the history, brief idea just I will be giving. So when data explosion started, okay, scientists understood that this data, whatever is available to us, should be used very efficiently. Then Google came up with two very interesting and game-changing research paper. One is Google File System, also called GFS. This is nothing but for distributed storage. And one is MapReduce, which is the algorithm for distributed processing. kind of scalable way of divide and conquer only, we can say. And based on this concept offered by Google, Yahoo employee Dog Cutting developed an open source implementation of MapReduce. Okay, and with this, Hadoop came into industry. Okay, and nowadays it is one of the major and very important tool or framework for big data handling. Okay, and if you were just thinking what is the meaning of the name, significance of the name, it has not that much significance. Actually, Dog Cutting has given this Hadoop name after his son's toy elephant. Okay, his son had an elephant toy. Okay, which is kind of, we can say, teddy bear type thing. If you just check here, this logo here, you will find this elephant. Okay, this is indicating that toy elephant only. All right, and this is what about history of Hadoop. Now just let me gist all the concept whatever I have discussed. That Hadoop main advantage, okay, one is economical. Why? Because see, there are two concepts. One is vertical scaling, another one is horizontal scaling. Vertical scaling means, suppose you have 10 GB of data, you are working in your computer peacefully. Your data size increased to 100 GB, then you changed your RAM and increased the CPU core, all these things. Okay, then more data came, then again you increase the size of your RAM. Okay, then more data came, then again you increase the size of your RAM. Like this, it is called vertical scaling. Okay, in simple words, we can say add more RAM, more CPU cores, more memory to the existing one. Okay, and this has obviously one limit. You cannot increase RAM size as much as you can, right? And that is obviously not going to be economical. But in Hadoop, what we do, as it follows distributed file system, distributed computing. So if my data size increases, we will add more computers in the cluster itself. Okay, so this is kind of add more machines in the existing group of distributed system. So this is called horizontal scaling, and the previous one is vertical scaling. And if you are doing horizontal scaling, whatever computers you are keep on adding, that is commodity software, that is normal computers only, that need not be supercomputer. Okay, so that leads to economical. Okay, then efficient. Obviously, why efficient? You can understand that distributed storage, distributed processing, obviously fast computation, which leads to efficiency. And reliable. This is very, very important point of Hadoop. That is, your data is stored in distributed fashion in your cluster. Now suppose one particular hardware damaged. Okay, so as a result, you might think the data whatever stored in that particular cluster you lost. But in case of Hadoop, what it does, it takes care of all these issues also. It keeps multiple copies of a single data, whatever you are storing in your cluster, in some other hardware, commodity hardware also. Okay, so that if one goes down or some fault, from other hardware, it can again retrieve the data. Okay, that is no concept of single point of failure it kept. Okay, single point of failure means once one particular component fails in that whole system, the whole system will not work. Okay, but in case of Hadoop, it will not happen because multiple copies it is storing, so it is reliable and no single point of failure. Okay, so these are the simple fundamental concepts about Hadoop. I hope it is clear to you. This is all for this video. Understand the definition well. The definition says lots of things: open source, distributed storage, distributed processing, cluster computing, and commodity hardware. Commodity hardware means low cost, simple computer. It need not be very high configuration. Computer is very high configuration, high CPU core, high RAM size, high memory. Okay, so I hope this concept is clear to you. This is all for this video. Thank you for watching.